Hello, my name is Tylluan. I'm a solitary pagan witch, an author and the founder of the Wolf and Howl Press, and it's been quite a few months since my last video for you. And as I have begun to film, my ever faithful Noah has decided he has to join in. It's been a long time for him too, and he's missed it, you know. He got terribly excited when he saw the camcorder come out today. Anyway, what was I going to talk about today? Well, when you have a St Bernard making a big fuss of you, most of your plans go out of the window. But I thought today I'd talk a little bit about what witches do. This is a question that comes up quite often, and the truth of the matter is nobody can give you a single answer. So if anybody does try and give you a single answer with the sort of take it or leave it view, I would be very suspicious of that. The thing about what witches do, well, people always think we do magic. Okay, some of us do more magic than others. Some people are always casting spells, some people really don't cast them that often. I found as I get older, thank you Noah, I do them probably less than I used to. And that's not laziness, age or ill health on my part. It's really the case that as you get older and more experienced, so you absorb more of your path, I think. Yes, thank you, Noah. And thank you. And I think you're actually living your path without needing to cast a separate spell. In other words, in a way, you've absorbed the magic and you live it. And Noah is very excited about that. And now he's attacking the camcorder. Noah! Noah, get down! Noah, come on. That's quite enough. And that growling sound is little Ord telling him to behave himself. Anyway, going back to what do witches do? Witches do a number of things. I mean, apart from living our lives in the everyday world, which we have to do, different people are quite different. They decide to specialise, if you like. Some like to specialise in divination, and I've done a lot of divination over the years. The only proviso I would make about divination is that you have to still live your life. You cannot live your life drawing a tarot card or a rune stone every, half hour. For some people, it becomes almost an addiction. They're afraid to move or live without advice. And this is something which happens to lots of people, but not just witches. I mean, it does. It happens to all sorts of people. There are people who are afraid to write a letter unless somebody else checks it. They're afraid to to fill in a form. They're afraid to bake a cake. So it's basically, this is a symptomatic of a bigger problem and a wider problem that's not just confined to being a witch. Some witches like to specialise in healing, and healing takes many forms. Some like to heal other people, some like to heal animals, some concentrate on trying to heal the earth, and heaven knows the earth needs it. And it has needed it for centuries now, what with mining and now fracking and all the sort of problems there are, and the complete lack of common sense in dealing with these problems. I mean, about 3 miles underneath where I live, there are mine shafts all over the place. There are so many mine shafts that people never even kept a record of them about 150 years ago, so nobody knows where they are. These are things that should never have happened. So I think some witches do, in trying to heal the earth, then they become very environmentally aware, which is a good thing. But it's not necessarily what people expect when they say to you, what does a witch do? I think we need to broaden our, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the right word. We need to broaden our perception of what the craft is. The craft is about many things. It's about being creative. I mean, this is a favourite hobby horse of mine. I do believe that being creative is a very good thing. You see, the reason I stress it so much is because it takes a moment to smash something. You can pick up a cup, throw it at the wall, and bang, it's gone. Now, it might have been a very cheap earthenware cup that nobody would miss, but it could have been a beautiful porcelain ornament, which had taken great skill to create. The point is, it takes a second to smash something, but it takes hours, weeks, days, months, what have you, in order to create. So I think this is a very important thing. I think witches do need to be aware of that, this desire to make, to create. And for myself, creation takes lots of forms. Recently I've been very aware of a great deal of despair in the air around me, people feeling very down, very fearful for the future, very despairing. Now, it's terribly easy to give in to that kind of thing, and I do believe that social media and the media at large, newspapers, television stations, not all of them, but a good percentage, they do have a huge part to play in this. They love spreading doom and gloom. And there's a very good reason for it, because if you make people fearful, how am I going to manage? How am I going to live? How am I going to eat? And these are very real problems for a great number of people. Not just in third world countries, but it's becoming more so in the West. If you have people fearful enough, they won't complain. They become very docile. They're almost too beaten down to complain. And this is something I feel very strongly about, because I feel it's not good enough. We have to do something to fight back. And I think the way we do it is we try and change the feelings around us. Now, we can't do it single-handed. And we shouldn't expect to. You know, when you get people contact you saying, I have to save so-and-so, he's got terminal cancer, say. Well, you can't do it. You can't do it by yourself. Anything we do has to be done in harness with other people, with doctors, with nurses, with the care providers, everything, with the patient themselves. It's not something it's all on me. That's letting the ego interfere with what we're doing. So I do think we have to think hard about that, and this is why creativity is so important, because we try to spread, if you like, spread beauty, spread beautiful things, beautiful words, beautiful pictures, and I mean, they don't have to be things we've painted ourselves. It can be a beautiful photograph, rather, of a beautiful view, and these are all important things. These are things that witches need to be aware of. Otherwise, all we do is go around muttering, and our neighbours think we've hexed them. You can't do it. You have to try to create a better world around us. Even if it's only the tiniest amount, we have to try and create that. We have to try and make something more beautiful than it was before. And we have to try and bring peace and calm. Don't mean to depress things, but to soothe them. You know, if you have a bad rash or an allergy to something and you itch like mad, or it hurts and it becomes inflamed, you want it soothed. And that is something I think witches do try and do. They do try and soothe things down a bit, because the world sometimes can be quite mad. It can be quite out of control. Oh, there soundeth the clock. It's all go today. Oh, and it's finished. That was quick. Things are out of control, and I think one of the things witches, I always think of them as doing, is having a bridle, this idea of pulling things in. You know, it's trying to make things a little bit less random, a little bit less willful, a little bit less impetuous, if you like. Nothing wrong with being impetuous or reckless from time to time, but I wouldn't advise it as a lifestyle choice. So there we go. What a witch is called to do, that's just a little snapshot. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for coming back, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.